T3 Live, and if it's Tuesday, it's the Wheels in Motion show. We've got end of the month, end of the quarter, so a whole lot of what's going to happen next out there, right? So let's take a look, see, shall we? So SPY here, oops, hold on one second. SPY does this monthly. We got our 32, right? Slammer. Now, how do we not go inside month is the question here. We're closer to the downside, but we've got some acreage to cover. So a lot of the things we'll be looking at is potentially going back and forth here as far as the futures are concerned, and I'll tell you why. So when the market gets tanked like this, right, we know the long side get killed, right? They are murdered on the downside. Then we have the snapback rally, the weekly, the outside week. Right, everybody stayed short, got killed in here. Now, who might be next? And I'll show you. If we go back to this monthly here, you might recall here in 2018, October, everybody got killed. They got killed off the 2-2 reversal. Then an inside month in November. Chop, shop, people trying to get their money back, and then really wailed on, right? And then you come roaring back, and what happens in that case is then you get the volatility to get crushed. So the question is, do we go inside month? And then what happens? Because the VIX can drop with the market doing nothing, right? So you have a potentially crush the long side, crush the short side, crush the vol guys, and then really how are you going to get outside of here? If you look at if you look at this month, right, and you took out these 3 months, right? Look at this. Right? Look at this. You could spend years in here because we just did, right? And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying it could happen when you look at all this. So ideally, for some people, you'd want the market to rally with the volatility still there, right, to keep jamming you up. But if you don't get that, then you got problems. So what we're looking at here on the weekly, this outside bar here, can we get back outside of this broadening formation? Because we haven't been able to do that. Here's the daily, poking up inside, poke up, can't get out. So how are we going to get out of here? Are we going to start dropping back through here? Gap village? Who knows? But it's a new month, new week, new day, our new month and new quarter. So we want to be aware of that. And like on a day like today, on the 60-minute, you see this here. We had 3 outside 60s today. Outside 60 goes up, right? Then pokes up a little bit, right? And goes outside 60 again, right? So we know that you can't go outside unless you take out one side first. So here, when this goes red, it comes down here and it's an outside bar of this, but you're back into a bigger broadening formation because you got an outside bar. See? So then you go 3-2 down, right? Is that something we want to know about? Yeah, because of the monthly, right? 3-2 down. Then here you go inside, but here you took this out, which means these were a 3-hour pattern. Broadening formation here, right? So outside bar of that. Then we went inside, then we poked up, came back through, and you can't go outside without taking out one side first. And the indication that that was going to work was here, RevStrat 30. Inside, up, dink, take these guys out, right? Then at the end of the day, why you want to mine the flip, right? We want to know what the new 60 bar is going to look like, and you can see this right here. Boom, right here, right here, it goes boom, right at the beginning of the hour, and you can see this right here. That's what we call it, the flip, bottom of the hour. Are these sellers still here? Gone, right? And then we got some more chop shop in here, but we want to watch, like the VXX was noticeably finally weak, and like I said, the VIX can drop without the market going up, right? And so this is a little quick, but you can see how we had this quick spike on that down move in the SPY, which gives you the up move in the VXX. Here's the inside fiver, right? Triangle them out. These guys go inside 5 and inside and down. 2, 1, 2. Here, boom. And what that does is it triggers this on the 15 here. The 2 up, the 2 down here, right? And then you got a new 15. You want to be aware of that too, right? When you're trading something this hot. Now everybody's not going to trade this quickly, but if you go back to the 60 here, you will see here, didn't make the magnitude. Outside bar, and then here, 3, outside bar, 2, 2, right? And then you mine the flip here, right? Tried to do it, couldn't quite do it. So we'll see. That relationship is going to continue to be important, the VIX versus the S&P. So you want to stay on that kind of stuff. If we go to gold, and gold, so gold, how are you going to get out of here? You get an outside month, and you're nowhere near taking this thing out, right? So we'll see, because it was here. If you take a look at this, it was a quarter where it went inside up, but now how are you going to get outside of that is a whole nother question. Meanwhile, oil, so is the 3-2 an important thing to watch? It is. You just saw the S&P get absolutely destroyed by it. How about crude oil? What's this? Is that an outside bar 3-2? It is. What's this? 2-2. What's this? 3-2. Boom. Total destruction. So having all sorts of problems over there. And look at that. If there's a bright spot, you've got stuff like SU here that actually goes inside weak to the upside, because XLE here still inside weak, like Slob and all these guys. If there's any hope to take out these inside weeks right now, they're not doing that. We saw CNQ here goes inside weak and up. DG is presently inside weak and up. Peloton coming in, but still inside weak and up to start off this week. Net 312 outside, inside up. Alexion here in the bio with Perigo and VRTX. And this could be important to start off the month tomorrow, because you've got IBB going inside day. Like so, to see if they want to bring this up or bring them right back through, all that kind of stuff. Here, let me match this up a little bit. Also, SJM. Slightly inside weak and up. How are you going to get outside of this thing is going to be the problem. So there's a lot of questions we're going to be, trying to answer here coming into the new month, new quarter. How long are we going to be shut down? What does that mean? What does any stimulus mean? So one of the things I talk about, going back and forth on like who's taking out the highs, who's taking out the lows, and stuff like that. Because this had like this month, stuff like TDOC. Right, taking out last month's highs and stuff like CTXS here. So what we want to look for is anybody, when you have the SPY down here, right, how are you going to take this out? How are you going to take that out? That's a tall order, right? I'm not saying it can't happen, but we're nowhere near doing that. So what we want to look for is the things that can do that. Crowd. Right, and you can see this. See, here's one of the problems with people that might hear them use the term coiling or anything, a tight range, whatever. It's coiling, right? And they like that because they get their tight stop. The problem is when things dry up and get really tight, more often than not, price discovery has to start over again, right? So that means they're going to try it up, try it down. Here it is. I think it's going to break out. Do you? Boom, take all these guys out. They're gone. Now you can come back up, and you stop out both sides before you get the actual move. So at this point, you can see the crowd has a better chance of taking out the upside, and that would be above 60.97. And when I say this, you can see the tight range, and then broadening formation. If you go to the weekly, you're going to see it like this. Here, there it is in all its glory. If we go to ANET and ANET on a monthly basis, you're going to see this here, right? Closer to taking out the highs, and that would be at 208.61. EQIX in the REITs. Here, we take that out above 649. BDX, and this has got some distance on here. The good part about if it does kick in is this is an outside bar. You would be back into the old triangle. Because right now in the weekly, what you're seeing is this. Outside bar shooter countered by hammer back into the range, which means this is the broadening formation here. That's a long way up. And right now that's for the rest of the week over 223.39 has my attention, BDX. ILMN, once again, inside day for the IBB, and ILMN comes back up for potential hammer here if they want to get back into this range above 285.34. Domino's Pizza, the few, the proud, the inside monther, And it's got a little distance to take it out, but inside month above 350, 342. Netflix. And Netflix here, outside month hammer towards the highs. And one of the reasons we would know about that is if you watch the macro video. Here you're going to see Netflix did this. What did Netflix do this quarter? Inside and up on the quarter. You know how many people did that? Almost nobody. And so the important part about that is it also reconfirms the yearly here and right there. Not only would you take out last month's highs, but over 385.99, you're back inside year and up in Netflix as we quarantine and watch flicks. STX. Big hammer monthly, and that would take that out over 51.61. ABC. Outside bar shooter countered by hammer, and this would kick in here. You can see how they're just getting chopped in here, right? So you're hoping that you blew a bunch of guys out here, you blew them down here, and then we can get the real move. That'd be over 90.76. Okay, one more second. Lily. Eli. And here, monthly, once again, outside month 322 kicks in over 144. Intel. It's got a little distance on this hammer, but you can go here. That's above 59.02. Hasbro. Kick in 322 over 80.12. China hammer over 33.79 on the monthly. And so you can see how tight all this stuff has been. If something improves, you can come ripping right back through there, but we'll see. Leg Mason. Momo hammer inside monthly on the highs. 50.05 takes that out. NVIDIA coming back up, big old hammer, stop them out in here. And we'll see how that goes over here. 284.89, and one of the reasons you'd be alerted to that was also in the macro video. If you go to here, and you'll see this. NVIDIA, inside year to the upside. Some of you want to know about DEF. Netgear. Netgear, you can see this going out on the highs of the month, so this doesn't need too much to take that out, and that'd be over 23.16. BGS, outside month, so this would be 3.2 to the upside on the monthly above 18.60. TTWO, $120.70 on the monthly would do it. Regeneron got a little bit of distance. It is two directionally going up. But if you go to the weekly, you're going to see this here. The two up, the two down, the 222 continuation to try and take that out. SDGR, it's a new issue. But you do have this on the month. Inside month and closer to the upside here. It'll be over 49.76. GILD. So GILD's got some issues to take this month out, right? And it's been stuck in here. This thing. The thing is, it is still inside year and up, right? But look at this. They're going to make sure nobody's in for this move. When you see something like this, you know there's guys who are never going to touch this thing again. So we'll see. And so oftentimes what happens is, just like when I show you that giant mother bar and the SPY, is how you're not going to be an inside month of this. Right, and so what happens is when you get stuck in the middle of a large range, and this may very well happen to the SPY, is you start a new discovery series, slight higher high, slight lower low, slight higher high, and then until that grows enough to get out of here, right? And that may very well happen to the SPY. We'll see. We hope not. If we go to BILL, and because of those weeklies that that we're nowhere near the lows in the SPY, like taking out last week's lows, you're going to see things that are. And this is a shooter counters hammer, BILL. below 34.41, and you can see how this thing took the month. Boom, 2-2 right there. Sleep number. Ah. You'd think you might need some beds when you're at home. Okay. Outside 3-2, coming back to previous range. All right, and this thing just taking out last week's lows and having all sorts of problems, so we'll see how that goes. Other things we're just going to keep an eye on is the toxic sectors like airlines, right? Here, that are still near the lows, 3-2 down. Now you got an inside day to see if they want to take all this out. So just watching going forward how these guys who are in real trouble, that we know are not flying and are out, not their businesses are down from their, essentially for the most part from what we're seeing here on the shutdown. Maybe an inside week for United Airlines, and watching the cruise lines, of course. Cruise lines still trying to stabilize, but we shall see. Hotels like Marriott, we want to see how these guys act. Like I said, might get inside weakers here. And if we can take this out, that would be a little more helpful. Below 67.28, letter H. Here would still be inside weak. So we'll see. Just going forward in like restaurants like Darden and Brinker EAT. And the thing that you may notice out there is that that restaurants are serving food, at least in Chicago, and they're carry out. You just can't stay there, right? And so some of these things are open for business. But then if you look at something who is not a bar, is not a restaurant. Well, it's more of a bar, but nobody's going to go there. Dave & Buster's. No one's going to order food from there. At least I don't think so. But it's subjective. It's probably inside weaker. But you get the idea. We still have all these shutdowns, things shut down. We're getting stimulus. We want to see what this new allocation looks like when you come into a new quarter. Are they allocating back in the bonds or back in the stocks? TLT. You can see now how are you going to get outside of these 2 weeks, right? And the bonds have had volatility like they normally don't have, right? So the question is, are they going to try and take the volatility out? What's going to happen? We'll let them open, but if they start rallying, there's a good hit list for taking out last month's highs. If they start dropping back into the try, well, we're going to have to go back and forth because it's a long way down to take a lot of these weeklies. But as you can see, potentially a lot of inside weeks, or maybe they want to see another weekend to see exactly how things are going with this virus. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith in the Black Quant VTF here at T3 Live, the Wheels in Motion show.